Alright guys, hello and welcome back to another Minecraft Xbox tutorial. In today's video, we're taking a look at the industrial auto furnace that I built on my survival world Jankecraft. And to give you guys an overview of exactly what this does, it's a fully automatic furnace that you place your ingredients in here, your coal in these side chests, and like magic, your finished items will pop up in these side chests, and you can just put your stuff in there, wait just a little bit, super quick, and then all your finished items will pop up in these chests, and you can just go and carry on about your day. Now, this is a pretty big project, so I recommend it for survival worlds that have been going on a while, and for projects that you need to smelt a lot of stuff at once. But let me just show you how fast it can smelt one stack of cobblestone. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this cobblestone in the ingredient chest, the coal in the side chest, and actually I'm going to need coal for this chest as well. Alright, and so as you can see, the ingredient chests are going back and forth, distributing the items over all the furnaces exactly evenly so that no coal is wasted and no items are left out. You can hear those droppers moving the items up into these chests, and here we go. We've already got a total of 16 stone, and the rest is coming. So as you can see, guys, this fully automatic, the minecarts stop as soon as all the items in them are gone, so you never hear any minecarts rolling around. And there's already 48 pieces of stone in each chest, so we're almost done. And the last few items should be coming up here. And here we are. Okay, so here's 32 in this chest, and 32 in this chest, guys. And that is our full stack of 64 stone already done right before our eyes. So guys, let's take a look at how to build this. I'll see you in the creative world. Alright guys, welcome to the creative world, and let's get started building this industrial auto furnace. So first off, guys, the thing that you should know is that this project takes up a fairly large blueprint, and I have that laid out here in this multicolored green and blue wool structure. Keep in mind, we're not going to need any of these wool blocks. These are just simply to show you the dimensions that this project is going to take up. So I suggest putting this in an area that you don't already have a lot built in, and one that you can easily expand, because it does take up quite a bit, and most of that is due to the amount of automation included in this design. But in this first step, guys, what you're going to want to do is get 16 furnaces and place 8 of them in one line and 8 of them on another line back to back like so. And there's going to be redstone that some parts of the build that are going to be below, to the sides, lengthwise, out on each end, and above the furnaces as well. And just so you guys have an idea of where the ingredient, fuel, and ending and final product chests are going to end up, I went ahead and put them in the design like so. So these blue wool blocks right here represent the floor. So if you guys want to either build off of where the chests are going to be, or simply start where the furnaces are going to be, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to try and keep these references across this entire tutorial. So once you guys have these furnaces placed, we can go ahead and move on to the next step, which is of course placing hoppers on top of the furnaces. And if you guys are on the Xbox version, you'll have to crouch and then place your hopper like so. So you're standing and then you'll have to crouch and then place like that. So on top of the furnaces, make sure all your hoppers are pointed directly into the furnace, and on the sides the hoppers should be pointed directionally into the side of the furnace like so. Alright, once you have all the hoppers placed, we can start placing some track, but before that, on the side that your chests are on, or are going to be on, go ahead and build out 4 blocks from the last hopper. From each of the hoppers, build out 4 blocks, like so. And go ahead and put an ending block, so as you can see this track runs into these blocks like this. And the track configuration that we're going to use for these is all these rows are going to be exactly identical. It's just going to be a matter of repeating them across these 4 different lines. So we're going to go powered rail, regular, powered, regular, and then across all these hoppers are going to be regular. One more, and then, okay, so for this side, this is a 10 block length. So build out 10 blocks and then cap it on the 11th right here. So we're going to go regular, powered, regular, regular, and this is a detector rail, powered, detector, regular, regular, and powered rail. And like I said, these are the same across all 4 rows. Now, in case you guys run into any problems where you're having track curve, like this, where you're having a curve when you're trying to build them all at once, what you can do is exactly what I've done here. On the 11th block, you can just make track that curves like this, so when you're building out like this, you won't ever have the track curve into it. So this is a pretty easy way to get track to behave the way you want it. Because I see this is a perfect example right here, so your powered rails will move like that. And you do not want that to happen, so all you have to do is extend it out like that, place your powered rail, and then just get rid of that. And put these ending cap blocks back like this. Alright guys, so in this step we're going to come back over to these chests, and right above these powered rails that you placed up against these blocks, go ahead and place hoppers all the way up to the single chests. Oh, and guys, I can't believe I forgot this, but in case you're having problems placing chests side by side, this is a trapped chest. These side chests are trapped chests, and this is a regular chest. So there's actually these 2 different kinds of chests in Minecraft. Yeah, so just so you guys know, and I prefer using the regular chest as opposed to trap chests, so that's why I have these trap chests on the end, because they have to be there, but they output a redstone signal. But anyway, aside from that, place hoppers up to each of the chests. So these side chests are going to need 2 hoppers, and the middle chest is only going to need these 2. And on the back side here, what we're going to do is place a comparator that is, so you'll be facing out like that, and then place down, so these 2 bars will be touching or right up against the hoppers, and you're going to want to do that for all 4 of these. Okay, so coming on the right side right here, what we're going to do is we're going to try and power all of these powered rails. So how we're going to do that is the block that the comparator is on, diagonally down, we're going to go ahead and put 2 blocks here, and on these 2 blocks we're going to put a repeater going into the block like that, and a piece of redstone dust. And above the repeater we're going to place another block, and on this block go ahead and put a redstone torch, and we're going to repeat this similar design across these other 3. However, the design changes a little because the redstone right here is going to interfere if we don't add an additional step, which I will show you right now. Alright guys, so the variation that we're going to have to do in order to avoid these redstone dusts from interfering with each other is exactly like I have shown here. So, what we're trying to do is take this comparator signal and we're going to run it through this block right here, and it's going to go into this repeater, which is sitting on top of this block, and this repeater is going to throw that signal into this block, which a redstone torch is on the end. And as you can see, this ending design is very similar to this one. So we're going to have the redstone dust on top of these two blocks, a repeater running into the same block that this repeater is on top of, and we're going to put another repeater facing into the block that this comparator is on. And of course you're going to have blocks for these repeaters to sit on. And as you can see, this rail is powered. So we can go ahead and just build up the rest of these like so. So what we're going to do is a little something like this. Oh. You can go ahead and delete these extraneous blocks. Go ahead and do this. So as you can see, this pattern repeats itself quite nicely when you have this extended version. And then all we're going to have to do is build another extended version right here. Make sure you place a repeater, and then that same block that the repeater facing this way, go ahead and put I'm trying to get the signal through each of these, so it should end up looking something like this. And as you can see, all of these powered rail are indeed powered. And so what will happen is when there's an item in this hopper, this powers this comparator. Signal goes through this block, goes through this repeater, therefore turning off this torch, powering down everything else, and turning off the powered rail. Therefore making sure the minecart with a chest actually stays here and waits until there's nothing left in this hopper, and then the powered rail turns back on and sends the minecart off like so. Alright guys, we're looking good so far. So now the next step is the collection system for all the fired material that the furnaces produce. So what you're going to want to do is at the side closest to your chests, you're going at the last furnace, go ahead and put hoppers facing down into more hoppers and have these hoppers facing out to the edges like so. And we're going to connect all the furnaces together to this contraption. So what I'm going to do is just build a platform, and like the typical angling methods that we've been using, go ahead and underneath each furnace angle these hoppers to run into this cluster of 6 hoppers. So go ahead and do that. Alright, so now all the furnaces should be hooked up, and anything on the left side will end up in this one hopper, and anything on the right side will end up in this hopper. And unfortunately it just started raining, but that is alright. We're going to power through. Okay, so now what we're going to build is a item elevator, and this item elevator utilizes droppers, and this specific item elevator was made by a Minecrafter named Tyrus Woo, and his channel is Tyrus Woo Minecraft, and that in-depth tutorial of this item elevator will be linked on screen and in the description. A very reliable item elevator design. This is how no items get stuck or lost. Incredible design, and so we will be utilizing it for this project. Okay, so I have the item elevator here started already. So what this is, as you can see, here are our droppers that we just, or hoppers, excuse me, that we just finished placing. and it feeds directly into a line of droppers. Now this line of droppers goes all the way up into our chest. So as you can see, the chest that we've been lining up, this item elevator lines up exactly. And this pattern, it's a fairly easy pattern for the redstone. All it really is a pattern just like this. So you can go ahead and start one block lower than the dropper connected to this hopper and make a wall of 3 blocks and go all the way up to your chest, and all you have to do is hit out in a kind of checkerboard pattern like so. Take a redstone comparator and face out and then go up like so, boom boom, and then do that all the way up the line. And for this third row of redstone, go ahead and place dust up top like that, and then put a torch on the outside like so. And again, his in-depth tutorial is linked in the description and on screen. And I'm in this next step, I'm gonna show you exactly how to finish off the elevator, and then I'm going to rebuild it on this side. So in case anything's not clear or whatnot or what have you. But okay, so once you have this built, this next part is actually a continuing step of this same elevator. And like I said, I'm going to come back to this side and build it. But these are going to be pretty much identical item elevators. Okay, so ignore the new blocks. So let's just focus on what we've already built here. So we've got this whole flat side essentially. The first thing that you're going to want to do is create a tower, and it's gonna function a little like this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete these torches. Okay, so once you have this tower built, anywhere that you see a torch that was placed in the last step, go ahead and just delete that block. So now we've got some free-floating blocks, and on these blocks you're going to want to place redstone dust. And now facing the other torches, go ahead and place more redstone torches, and they should turn off just like so. Alright, now this next part is a little bit weird, but let me just try to explain it. So, up against this torch, go ahead and place a hopper. So your hopper should fill this middle area just like so. And go ahead and place another hopper, and make sure that this hopper runs into that hopper and this hopper runs into this hopper. So as you can see, these hoppers are running into each other. Now go ahead and place any sort of block. In fact, it could even be a cobblestone block, and place it in the hopper closest to this torch. Alright, once you have that done, go ahead and from this second hopper, place a comparator on a block going into another block that has a torch connected to it like this. And above this torch, and this will line up directly with the droppers, place a, so as you can see, here's that torch, place a block on top of that torch, and now we're just building a tower of torches. Lots of T's in that. So go ahead and place a redstone torch, block, and torch to finish that out on top. And that should do it for the item elevator. So let's test this by plopping in 63 blocks. And as you can see, torches are firing, things are happening, and blocks are starting to pile in this top chest. Okay, so let's recreate that. So I'm going to build my tower. I'm going to delete these excess blocks. Anywhere that there's a torch, I'm going to go ahead and delete out. And I'm going to go ahead and just delete that extra block up there. So just place redstone dust like so, and then your torches facing inward. And then up against this torch, go ahead and place a hopper. And then run this hopper into that hopper. Just make sure that these two hoppers are running into each other. And okay, so there we go, 63 cobblestone. So this elevator is 100% functioning. Alright, so back to this step. Go ahead and put your piece of cobblestone in there like so. Alright, and we're going to need to run a comparator out of this hopper. Okay. We have our comparator. We're going to build up like so. Let me just cheat and look over here real quick. Alright, so we're going to place a torch facing the droppers and then up like this. And this is where we start building our tower of torches. Boom. Boom, and then final torch on top like that. Alright, now this should be the final design, so let's go ahead and test this out. 62 pieces of cobblestone, so we got torches turning on and off. Alrighty. And you guys will notice that there's actually no ticking noises, which was eliminated because in the original design, which is on my survival world, I have a chest here, and it actually goes down another layer and then feeds into the dropper. But this is a direct design, and any blocks that are in these hoppers immediately get pushed into here, so there's absolutely no delay. And so the only time that you'll hear clicking is because the furnaces are busy firing. So without that chest, it just reduces the delay by a little bit. So this is the most efficient design. So alright guys, we have both our elevators done. And now pretty much the core of this whole design is done. The next steps are going to be powering these powered rail and connecting all these different signals to the minecarts. So everything's pretty much there, except for the minecart automation. So, the automated minecart block detection system. So we're gonna go ahead and build that next, guys. Okay, so first off, let me start off with a correction to the design real fast. So as you can see, I have shortened these outside tracks just a little bit. So as opposed to all 4 tracks looking like this, if you go ahead and change the outside tracks to look like this, this is the ideal setup. So this will enable us to efficiently hook up the wiring to get to detect any blocks inside the chests. So what we're going to do is, the same power rail for everything, but instead this time right after that powered rail, go ahead and put a detector rail, and then 2 regular rails, and then a powered rail, and then put that right into a block, and go ahead and do that for this side as well. So these blocks should line up with these detector rails on this. Okay, so now what we can do is we can start to power any of these rails. So let's come over here, and these 4 rails, not the 4 that are connected to all this other circuitry, but instead these rails right here. We're going to go ahead and use a lever, and let's see, okay. So go ahead and flick all these levers on, and you should see them come on like so. Alrighty. And let's go ahead and do that again with these guys right here. Alright, so these powered rails and these powered rails are going to be on all the time. And same with these powered rails. However, there's not enough. If I put a lever there or anything, it will affect the other wiring negatively. So that's why there are these detector rails. So whenever the minecart goes over, it just turns on the powered rail, and it will stop here based on the signal that gets detected. But these are technically always on because of these detector rails right there. Alright, so let's set up some circuits. Alright guys, we are almost done. Just a few more steps and your industrial auto smelter is almost done. Okay, so a quick side note. So in that last step where we placed these levers on this, where these 10 blocks are, go ahead and delete these levers. Not the ones on the inside, just the ones on the outside, and replace this regular track with a detector rail track. I was running into a problem where the lever was powering this redstone, and it was causing a problem. So a detector rail right there will fix that, and that should be no problem. Oh, wait, no, actually, guys, I am mistaken. Okay. So, go ahead and delete those. These are already powered. I forgot. These actually power the blocks next to them too, so I guess that technically means that we don't need these either. So let's see. Yep, okay, so these are still powered. So you could go ahead and lose the torches on the outside. The ones near the chests aren't a big deal, but the ones that are right here are indeed a big deal. Okay, so let me explain how this system works, and then I'll run through it, and then just like the elevator step, I will build it so I have the short one and the long one, the outside one and an inside one, and then I will build the outside or the inside one here, and then the outside one over there. Okay, so the whole point of this whole contraption is to detect when there's an item in the hopper. The signal is sent down all the way over here, all the way up here, and will power this torch, which therefore powers this powered rail, and it'll send the minecart down. And because there's items, watch, when I put items in here, this powered rail turns off, that powered rail turns on, and the minecart comes down. Off, and then the minecart comes down, and it starts to get filled up. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete that guy. Send you back. Oh, I think it may send back. Yep. Oh. Whoopsies. Okay. Come back here, minecart. Okay. And just FYI, guys, if anything is getting stuck, so if you've destroyed any items over the furnaces, there's a good chance that there's some stuff stuck in the furnaces because the hoppers will like collect anything and then feed it into the furnaces. So if you guys are getting weird totals for any amounts of things that you are firing, I would delete this bottom row hoppers. Check to make sure that your furnaces are all clear. You don't have to check any of the hoppers because it'll automatically just all push into the furnaces. So just make sure your furnaces are clear. But okay, so anyway. So that's how the minecart gets called and gets filled up. Now, when there's a lot of items in the minecart, a system where it just powers once and comes back to an unpowered rail was no good. So that's why the detector rails are here. When it goes over the detector rail, this comparator detects that signal and then comes down here, goes into that same channel from where this powered rail is getting fed. So the only time the detector rail detects anything is if there's something in the minecart with a chest. So if there's nothing in it, no signal will get sent down here, therefore never powering this powered rail again. But currently the timing mechanism works out right now. So when this goes over, the minecart with chest goes over this, if there's items in the chest, it'll power it. And after like a split second, this will turn back on and it'll send back over again. And the same exact concept is used for this one. Literally the exact same thing. So all we're doing is in each of these hoppers, we're tying in the back over here, out of each one of these. And we're just hooking them up to the appropriate side. And as you can see for this one, we have the torch underneath the powered rail, this line, the inverter, and this is the comparator that checks to see if anything's in this minecart, checks if anything is in there. This will get powered, therefore powering on and sending back. If not, the minecart will just stay stationary. Alright guys, well let's go ahead and build one of these. I'm going to go ahead and start on this outside one first. So as you can see, I already got some of it. So that's going to send until I invert it correctly. Alright, so I'm just going to build out 4 blocks. I'm going to start staircasing down. Alright, and now I'm just going to send this line all the way over here. And because this one is the other middle row, we're going to have to get the signal out of this guy right here. So what I'm thinking, since this guy is in kind of a tough spot, so if we put like redstone dust right here, that'll work probably. But instead of that, let's just use a repeater. Put that into a block. So we've got our signal right here. Okay, so I have remedied the problem, and I recall, so this is an Xbox exclusive glitch. And what happens is you see in this middle, this block right there will actually power the redstone that is adjacent to it that normally is right there. So my solution to this is essentially extending, so taking this same concept of the comparator into the block, into the repeater, into the block, into the torch, and I'm extending it out one more time. So comparator, block, repeater, block, repeater, block, redstone, torch, and then we go down into the length of it. Because what was happening is when anything was in this hopper, it would power this comparator, but because this redstone that was there was not able to turn off, even when the torch got powered off because of the comparator, this repeater would still stay on, and this powered rail would never turn off. So this is the solution to that, and of course we need to now, so there's how to do that, and then we need to hook up this inner one again, so we can do that pretty easily, just like so. Put a redstone torch, go down like this, and we can just hook it up to this line right here. This is just being difficult right now. Okay. And I see the problem. Okay, so problem solving. Let's go. Alright guys, thanks for bearing with me through this. I decided, to keep all these, problems in here just so you guys understand that this is, these types of problems will probably come up with you, especially in terms of spacing and how much room you have to work with in your design. And also, there's plenty of flexibility as far as where these paths can go and things. So just make sure that each line, when you connect into this inverter, is not more than 15 blocks away, and make sure that your comparators go into the appropriate inverters. And also I showed you the solution to the because this design, it works fine on PC, but then to the Xbox, Redstone functions a little bit differently. But this is the final design, so if you guys want to take a look at this, and then we will build our last line, and then everything should be good to go. So let's just be sure and test these real quick. So we put this in. Oh, and there's no minecart there, of course. Okay, so we put our minecart there. It fills up. I'm just gonna break it. Okay, so there's still stuff in the hopper, so that powered rail's still on. So we take that redstone, or take those blocks out of the hopper. This powers down. All right, we are ready to go. Okay, guys, so let's build the very last little section of this, and then we are good to go. So first step is place the comparator to check that signal out of there. And we're gonna start snaking our way down. Okay, so we need to, here is the powered rail. Gonna put a block right there. That torch will power it. Alright, put a repeater into the block with the torch. Come on down like this. Alright, come out like so, put a repeater. And staircase down like this. Thank you, Rain. And go ahead and come on over. Let's just see how we're doing. So we've got everything, repeater into the inverter, and now we just have our line that goes all the way down. So let's hope to God that there are no problems that arise with this. Okay, so let's go ahead and build over here. Bring our redstone all the way down. On that last block, go ahead and kill it. Alright guys, so that should do it. We've got this line hooked up into the inverter, and this line is hooked up into the torch inverter, which is also connected to the cart capacity detector rail. Okay, so let's just make sure and plop in a bunch of items. So that minecart gets called, filled up. Both those minecarts get called. Beautiful. And this minecart also gets called. And they distribute until they are empty. Empty and empty. And this, of course, did not empty because this is... You can only put fuel items into... Yes, there are hoppers here, but you can only distribute coal into these furnaces. Likewise with this one. But anyway guys, so this pretty much does it for this design. As you can see, it gets pretty complicated when you try to detect what items are in there. So a lot of this extra circuitry can actually be eliminated if you were to just have your minecarts running all the time. I know on PC they make a lot of annoying noises when they move back and forth between places. so I was pretty conscious of that in this design. But anyway, guys, thanks for bearing with me, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Alright, I'll see you later.